Welcome to Sage Becomes Him. I have listened to a podcast called Dear Alana. And in this podcast, it's about a young woman who is in her teens when she falls in love with the Catholic Church and then finds herself with the new identity of her sexuality and the struggle between the two and how they don't align with one another. And the gentleman who puts it together is also recognizing these same struggles with himself because he has the same love for the Catholic Church that this young woman did. Ironically, and most boldly, it's the exact same story of my love relationship with the Catholic Church and the things that did not align with where I'm at in my life. Now, you can imagine, after I got out of the military and things were really rough because of that label that I got, that distinction I got from the Navy, that propelled me to seek the church and to try to find some way to stop these thoughts and things in my head that were now being kicked out of the military. They were detrimental to my thought processes because I thought I was just worthless, absolutely worthless. And the church, unfortunately, well, there was a good side. The good side was that I did focus on the prayer and the spirituality of it and the meaning of having a faith and having the love of Christ and God, taking the Eucharist as many times as you can in a week, and most of the times it was every day. My mother would go to church with me after beauty school, and we'd meet at 5:15 Mass, and then I'd go home and watch Designing Women and Golden Girl reruns. And then walk down to the Lincoln Theater, which was just a few blocks away, and see a movie for $1.50, or $1, I think it was at the time. But all of these things were part of the journey these other two individuals were on, and it's a remarkable podcast. The truth is, the podcast talks about this young woman who committed suicide and how her struggle to find that balance within herself was horrible. And I survived a suicide, and a lot of people don't know that. I did find myself in a place where I was done. I was finished. No prayer would help. No going to church every day helped. None of it helped. My own confusion with what sexuality was and what that meant to me was one that anyone going through a struggle with that it's just debilitating, the mental process that you go through and trying to uncover the truth about what is and what isn't right. I did find myself with the realization that I don't have to align myself with the beliefs and the teaching of the church towards gays and lesbians, transgendered, and I don't think that anyone should. I think the church, unfortunately, is built on a word that didn't even exist in the Bible till 1947, which a lot of people don't like to hear about. They don't like to know that homosexuality wasn't even a word that was used in the beginning times for this. So I won't get into any details about all of that, but I will say it's refreshing to wake up every day and not be led by a belief system that doesn't align with who and what I am. And I don't know what that is. It's been so misconstrued and so put on there's so many layers to what happened to me in my lifetime. And I do know that a lot of it was caused because I adopted the things that were being told to me. And I tried to please those that wanted me to be one way, and people that accused me of being this other way, and then people that thought that this would be better for me here. And I got so confused as to what is and what isn't. That's why Sage was so right for me. She didn't care about any of that. She came out of the closet in full force, in full regalia. And I moved back to Wyoming with the best of intentions, but all at the wrong time. And I gave Sage up, and I gave New Jersey up, and I gave things up that were happening in New Jersey that no one knew about. And I didn't think it was, the one big mistake I made was when I left New Jersey, I left behind some amazing friends that I had created over the years. 7 years of creating these friendships, and I sabotaged them and I threw them out and I got rid of them because I thought they didn't serve me And what was wrong is I didn't serve myself, which is a huge place to understand yourself, is when you look back and you think, oh my gosh, what did I do? But again, the journey was real. And when I survived my suicide attempt, it was one where I came out of it with more hate and more disgust and more dissatisfaction in life, and everything that ever happened to me became my crutch. It became the fuel, the oxygen in my blood. It was horrible. Anyone in Wyoming that watched me go through this and not quite understand where it all came from. I mean, it started in the military, obviously, and then after the military, beauty school was one of those horrible times for me, because I was just being pitted left and right. And what's really cool is one of the girls that was the ringleader for this, she actually came through for me a number of years before I went to prison, or right after I got out of prison. She found me one day at the salon I was working at, and she came in and wanted a haircut and asked if I could do it. I'm like, oh, well, sure. And she said, you don't know who I am, do you? And she proceeded to tell me who she was, and I was like shocked. Like, here's the woman that made my life hell in beauty school and got all the other girls along with her little tirade. And she apologized to me. I mean, you could knock me over, a ton of bricks. She apologized to me and then came back for some more haircuts, which were great. At that time, of course, I was full on into the drug scene because I just was lost, and drugs became the way for me to escape all the thoughts that I had let ring in my head for so long and for way too long. And the start of change came, of course, last summer, again, when I went to that US Vets event, and all those military people and just, wow, I still have not forgotten that. It's not even been a year yet. But that was the big change that came from the military. It's almost like they apologized in a small way. And, I'm still waiting for them to approve of certain things that I applied for, because, I'm still being rejected for my GI Bill, stuff like that. But that's when the change started. When the change started from then, it's like, oh, wait, now here that happened back in 1991. So now what needs to happen from that point on? It's not quite known to me what's going to happen next, but I know that talking about it and sharing it and being open about what happened in all aspects, the church never accepted the gay thing, never. And every priest I talked to, everyone in the church that I talked to, everyone that was friends with people that were in the church, they all rejected the gay thing. And that puts, like, this podcast, it right up front, like, what do you do with that? Where do you go when the church that you believe in, that you loved, that you've put all your eggs in one? I mean, I had gay people going, you go to church on Sunday? I'm like, well, yeah, every Sunday, and for Easter and Christmas. And they're like, what the heck is wrong with you? Thank you for watching. If you find any part of this of interest and you have anything to say to me, please let me know, because I would love to hear from anyone else struggling with this. It's a great topic, and I hope that anyone out there struggling with their faith and stuff can find hope in meeting, because we do survive. We are alive and well, and we are full of love and hope for anyone out there. And I hope anyone out there who is struggling can reach out and find resources. And you know what? There's some people out there that just love you, whether you like it or not. And so hopefully you'll find them. And yeah, thanks for watching.